Alright, hello everyone. Today is something a little bit different. This is going to be a tutorial, or the beginning of a series of tutorials, on how to do linkages in general. We will be working our way up and showing, like deriving, what makes the linkage work, and then showing the shortcuts you can take so you don't have to go derive it every single time. We plan to cover stuff from basic linkages to the really advanced stuff that you might see in an Argland video, but we're going to start in this video with the very basics, guiding arms and bracing. So we're going to start by going into the sandbox and just loading up a generic template world. So let's start with the most simplest way of moving this car up, which would be to put a road and then to pull with two hydraulics. When we run the simulation, the road does move up where we want it to be, but you'll notice that it swings back and forth. We get lucky this time as the car does not hit anything, but we can do better. We can brace this with a guiding arm so it moves in a controlled and predictable way. But how do we figure out what to brace? And what does bracing even mean? When drawn on the grid, which can be turned on or off by pressing G or clicking the grid snap icon in the top bar, a max length hydraulic is 4 meters long with 50% compression. This means it will contract 2 meters. If it is set to maximum expansion, also 50%, it will expand 2 meters. The takeaway from this is that it's very easy to get a 2 meter movement, and 2 is an easy to work with number. Since our guiding arm is made of steel, it can't change the length, so the place where it's rotating from has to be the same distance from the start and end point of the hydraulic. Since our hydraulic is contracting 2 meters, our arm has to be pinned at the halfway point. 2 meters divided by 2 is 1 meter, so our guiding arm has to be pinned 1 meter away from the end of the hydraulic. It does not matter how far away from the hydraulic we pin it, it just has to be at the halfway point. Our hydraulic is now braced, meaning we now have limited its movement to a single path. It cannot swing, it will always follow this path. Rope is a great tool to measure distances. We can measure that we are lifting 2 meters. Half of 2 is 1, so we need to put our guiding arm 1 meter away from the end. Let's try this but scaled up. We now have to lift the road 4 meters. Half of 4 is 2. So we need to put the guiding arm 2 meters from the end. The guiding arm is going to be in orange to show that's the part that's moving. We can do better. We are using 4 hydras to lift this, and we can easily cut that number in half. Since we know both ends of the road have to lift the same distance, we can just copy our guiding arm over to the other side of the road. Now when we lift, one end of the guiding arm has constrained the movement of the other so that it follows. We have now braced the other side. Since both sides are braced, they have to follow the same path. Here I intentionally make one guiding arm longer. Since they now follow different paths, the road gets torn apart. And this is why the guiding arms have to be exactly the same length. So now that our guiding arms are there, we can remove one set of hydraulics. Wait, why didn't that work? It was working partway through the lift. Why did it stop at the middle if both sides are braced? What's happening here is the guiding arms are becoming collinear. Collinear is a term that describes when two beams are on the same line. When this happens, the guiding arms can move independently of each other. The one next to the hydraulic continues to get pulled upwards because the hydraulic is exerting a force on it. However, the one that's on its own will fall back down its path due to gravity. This causes the road to get pulled apart. This can be fixed in two ways. One of the ways is by moving the second guiding arm to a place where it won't go collinear. Moving it just pushes the problem down the road, but as long as you don't rotate past the point where they go collinear, this option works just fine. See here? The two rods are not collinear. But here, they are. This setup would be fine if we were lifting the car up 2 meters, but since the car lifts up 4 meters, it does not work. So, what's the other method we can use? We can brace two guiding arms to each other, so they always have a section that is not collinear. Bracing the guiding arms is simply done by turning the guiding arm into a triangle and connecting the new points together. So how does this brace hold up the road? In order for the orange guiding arm to fall down like last time, the purple triangle would also have to fall down. If the purple triangle has to fall down, it has to bring the green beam with it. But the green beam is attached to the other purple triangle, which is attached to the hydraulic, which is pulling it all up. So it's braced. It does not matter what shape you make your brace between the guiding arms. Like the guiding arms, as long as they are identical, it will work. We now have a working lift that uses half the hydraulics we started with, but we can do better than that. In the next video, we will show you can reduce this down to one hydraulic with 90-degree rotation.